Hello feline friends and welcome back to our channel. I want to apologize again. I know I kind of dropped off the face of the earth for a little bit, but I'm finally back with a new video. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about what our experience was like bringing Spike home for his first night. I know it can be really scary picking up a kitten for the first time, especially when you've never owned a cat before. So I just thought that I would share some of my tips on how to make your kitten's first night home as comfortable as possible. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about is the car ride home. Whether you're going to a breeder or a shelter, you're gonna have to transport your cat back to your place. And you're gonna wanna make your kitten feel as comfortable as possible in the car ride home. So the best way to transport your new kitten home is of course in a carrier. I wouldn't recommend taking them out of the carrier or holding them because they may get frightened and try to jump under the seat and it just won't be very safe. So definitely bring a carrier and make sure that the carrier is equipped with items that will make your kitten comfortable. We padded Spike's carrier with a blanket, and then we also covered his carrier with a thinner blanket so that big sounds or noises wouldn't scare him while we were riding back home. Depending on the personality of your kitten, you may also want to pack some plushies or toys so that they can play during the car ride home. Some kittens may be a little scared or shy, but as I mentioned in previous videos, Spike was incredibly brave when we picked him up and he was ready to play. So I had brought a little Pusheen plushie and then I had just stuck my hand in the carrier and started kind of wiggling that plushie around so that he could play with it, and he seemed to really enjoy it. And it also seemed to make him feel more comfortable in the car because he started purring and he started rubbing against my hands. And if possible, I would also recommend that one person sits in the back seat of the car with the kitten so that that person is able to soothe the kitten and give them some pets so that they're not freaking out. In our case, my partner was the one that drove home and then I sat in the back seat with Spike, so again I was able to play with him and sort of talk to him and comfort him so that he didn't get scared and that he felt comfortable while we were riding home. But I understand if this isn't possible if you live by yourself or you just don't have anyone in close proximity to you that can accompany you to your trip to pick up your kitten. So that's totally fine, you know, just make sure they have a comfortable carrier, and then once you get home you can make up for it by giving them some treats. Oh, and one more thing about the car ride home, do not give them any treats in the car ride. I know it may be tempting, especially if they're crying a little bit, but they might get car sickness and throw up everywhere. So you do not want to give them any type of treat. Okay, so once you and your new kitten are home, you want to put the carrier next to the litter box. I mean, this isn't a must, but I always recommend this because in case your kitten needs to go to the bathroom and, you know, it was a long car ride or plane ride home, you want to make sure you're letting them out right where they can find their litter box so that they know where to go when they need to go. Okay, I'm sorry y'all, my memory card ran out of space because I'm really bad about deleting all my old footage, so I had to take a pause and clear out some space, but back now, we're good. Okay, so like I was saying, once you let your kitten out and your kitten knows where the litter box is, you want to just give your kitten some space. And make sure that you're only letting your kitten explore one room in your house or apartment. You don't want to overwhelm them with the entire space that they have, so make sure you just confine them to one room for even like the first day or the first few weeks that they're with you. So let your kitten explore, don't pet them, don't give them treats quite yet. You're gonna notice that your kitten might look very antsy and start meowing because they're just confused about where they are, and that's totally normal. They're gonna wanna roam around and kind of rub their scent onto different things and really just start to familiarize themselves with the space that they're in. For Spike, it actually only took him maybe like 30 minutes to an hour to totally explore the room. We live in a one-bedroom apartment with a bathroom, so we just closed the door to our bedroom and the bathroom, and we let him have the space of the kitchen and the living room. We watched him while he kind of scurried around and sniffed different things. He did meow quite a bit when he came out because I think he was just a little bit confused. He wasn't with his siblings or his mom anymore, so we just gave him that time to familiarize himself with what was happening. Once your kitten is done exploring the space, they will come to you when they're ready to play or eat. We did have water ready for Spike whenever he was thirsty, and it did seem like he was pretty thirsty because one of the first things he did after he explored was go to his fountain and start furiously drinking water. So of course, make sure that you have food and water laid out for them in case they do get hungry or thirsty. But after his 45-minute exploration period, he did start to come to us. He started to sit on our laps and really just try to explore different toys we had laying out for him. So at that point, we did start to play with him and give him some treats and just start to kind of try and bond with him. And again, every kitten is different. Like I said, Spike is sort of like an abnormally brave cat, or he used to be an abnormally brave kitten. So it did take him probably less time than most cats to get accustomed to the space and come to us for some scratches and playtime. If your cat takes maybe a day or two to get used to the environment, don't worry, like it's normal. Each cat just needs their own individualized time to familiarize themselves with their new space. But don't worry, once your kitten is comfortable, they will come to you. So that first night after we played with Spike and cuddled with him for a while, it was time for us to go to bed, as much as we didn't want to. Like I said, we did not let Spike in the bedroom with us for the first 3 months he was with us because we didn't want him to become overwhelmed, and we also didn't want to crush him in our sleep because I don't know about you all, but when I was first looking into getting a kitten, I saw a lot of horror stories online about people letting their tiny kittens sleep with them at night and then rolling over them and crushing them, so I just didn't want to risk anything. We did have a bed for him laying out in the living room area. He did not like using it, and he still doesn't really use it that much. The only time he ever used his bed was when he got neutered, which I thought was really interesting. But now he sleeps with us because he's bigger, and then in the past he used to just sleep inside his little tunnel area of the cat tower. But that also reminds me, just one more consideration is that your cat may grow into liking certain items. One thing I forgot to mention was that when Spike was in his initial exploration period that night, he did not like the water fountain spout. So our water fountain, if you've seen our hydration video, has a removable spout. And the spout does make a little bit of noise compared to when we take the spout off and it's just kind of like a circular fountain. So when he first approached the fountain and the spout was on, he got really freaked out and he would not touch his water. So we just had to take the spout off, and then at that point he went and kind of just used the fountain all the time. But as he got older and bigger, he became more comfortable with the fountain, so eventually we put the spout back on and he had no problem with it. So if you notice that your kitten isn't playing with certain toys or using certain items that you bought for them, don't worry, you might not have to return them yet because your cat may just need some time to grow into liking those items. And on the flip side, your cat might grow bored of some items. So when we first got Spike, we did lay out a bunch of different toys, including his, I forget what it's called right now, but it's the toy with all the little balls on the tracks. And he really enjoyed playing with that while he was a kitten, but he eventually grew really bored of it and rarely plays with it anymore because he much prefers interactive toys that he can use with us. So that is it for this video. I hope it was helpful for you all. Please feel free to leave any questions or comments down below. I love reading your comments and responding to them, and I do try to respond to every comment I get on my channel. So don't hesitate to reach out or ask any questions. And if you have any video suggestions, please let me know. I think at this point I do kind of want to branch out from these educational videos I've been doing and do a little bit more of like fun, like trial videos, like for example, just kind of seeing what types of cat tips are online and trialing them with Spike to see if they work well. So yeah, let me know what you guys would prefer to watch. I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching as always. Take care. Bye. I know. Yeah. You got a lot to say.